Hey everybody, so the last video was a bit serious, so today I'm just going to talk about drag queens. Huge RuPaul Drag Race fan, currently all in to All Stars. The first drag queen I ever met was Peppermint, actually. And she would not remember. I mean, it was just, we didn't like meet, like hang out, but she was she was working at the bar that I went to. It was some place that doesn't exist anymore in New York. I was living in Hoboken. I got off the subway, went to the first gay bar that I found on, maybe MapQuest, maybe, I don't know. Walked in, saw my first drag queen. At that time in my life, there was still a lot of internalized homophobia. I mean, there will always be, but I didn't know how to react or what to do. I used to say, it's funny, because I used to say things like, oh, drag queens make me uncomfortable. I used to say that a lot, like in my 20s. I certainly don't say that anymore. Now, like, I want to see drag queens. But they used to make me uncomfortable. And that, of course, says more about me than drag queens. Yeah, Peppermint was my first one. I will always remember. She looked gorgeous. She wearing something blue. Yeah, so what do I want to talk about drag queens? I want to talk about drag queens because through doing the movies and the web series and the music and all of the stuff that I'm really putting myself out there doing, drag queens are a really big inspiration. Just think about what it takes to love what you do so much, to love performing in your art form, because drag is an art form, so much, how much they risk in putting themselves out there. Now, of course, they generally do it in gay safe spaces, but they dress up like a woman and dance, sing, perform, whatever their act is, to a crowd. I mean, going out and just performing, I don't know, Shakespeare, Chekhov, like in a play, that's terrifying enough. Standing up in front of a bunch of people and doing your best job and hoping they like it, that's petrifying enough. Now add on to the fact that you're cross-dressing and entertaining probably a room of rowdy drunk people. Like, every time I have nerves about putting out a video or getting on stage, or anytime I have nerves, and all the time, constant. Like, this is not easy for me. But every time I do it, I always think of drag queens. Because I say to myself, if they can, like, not if they, I'm sorry, that maybe sounded like, well, if they can do it, I can do it. Not in a judgy way, but like, they deal with much more potential pushback than I would, probably. Like, my assumption is that they overcome much more than what I have to overcome to get out there. So, be clear. I want to be clear when I say, like, if they can do it, I can do it. Not in a ranking judgy way, but like, if they can overcome what they have to overcome to do what they do, then I can overcome the less barriers that I have to do what I want to do, especially as a white man who presents as a man and performs as a man. So, the barriers that I have, the privileges that I have, and the things that I don't have to overcome that they do, that inspires me. That inspired me to watch on television drag queens just like, the art of drag, thanks to RuPaul. You know what? Hate on her as much as you want for her comments on X or her comments on Y. I'm sure I'm going to make so many comments on here that are going to be problematic because we're all people and we all just talk and we're not scripted and we just say things. But, hate on RuPaul as much as you want. She is responsible for the current renaissance of drag. She is. There's no question. And we're all better for it. So, we know so many amazing, talented drag artists because of RuPaul. And not just the ones on RuPaul, but because we're now paying attention to drag. So even, and I know that local queens have problems with the show and it has affected their bottom line. I hear that. For me, it's made me more inclined to go look at a local artist because I just appreciate the art form so much more. That's just me. I'm sure it's different for everybody. But drag queens they're our sort of warriors in our fight for. You think of do you guys know Marty Gould Cummings, local New York drag queen? Her star is certainly on the rise. Was president of the Hell's Kitchen Democrats. Bob the drag queen, who I'm sure you all know, another New York City queen, very politically active. Like, drag queens are political warriors. They overcome so much to do what they do. I don't have a particular interest in doing drag myself. I kind of want to try it once, just why not? Why not do it and see what it looks like? Why not do it and see what it feels like? Why not? But I think of them anytime that I feel worried about something or nervous about a performance or nervous about a project, I always think of drag queens. Like, be as brave as them. Be as they're really great. Oh God, I love drag so much. Shout out to Sherry Vine. Hope you're having a lovely time in LA. Yeah, that's all. Next.